Welcome to the TEK2day podcast. It's your host, John Mayetta. So I came across this backtesting tool. I wanted to backtest the TEK2day founder CEO rater portfolio. This is just a free tool. And you can see sort of the overview of the portfolio here. You should note there's one difference between this portfolio and the version we published earlier in the week. And that is that I removed ticker PDD. And that's not because PDD had a rough day yesterday. This backtest data is only through July 31st. So yesterday's rough day wouldn't have been factored into the returns anyway. The reason I removed PDD is because in order to use this free tool, I can only have 15 names. So I went from 16 to 15. I removed PDD because it is a China-based company and the rest are US-based. Granted, team, it's an Anglo company, even though they're footprint in Australia. So there's the holdings, equal weight portfolio. Not really actively managed, therefore I wanted to make everything equal weight. So there's sort of the weightings distribution, this circle here. Haven't used this tool before, so if I decide to create an account and use it, I'll provide feedback on this channel. And so there is the 26% CAGR on the TEK2day portfolio. So if you invested $10,000 on January 1, 2021, it would be worth $22,895 as of July 31st, 2024. Cumulative return of 128, call it 129% over the same period. The benchmark, which was the NASDAQ 100, would be worth $16,479, a cumulative return of 65%. There's more return data, some risk data. There is the numeric representation of what I just talked about. Starting balance 10,000, ending balance 22,895, CAGR 26% versus 15 for the benchmark. There's your standard deviation information. Best year, call it 92, 93%. Worst year, down 35%. Sharp ratio, et cetera, et cetera. Portfolio growth. TEK2day portfolio is in the navy blue. NASDAQ 100 is in green. Dates back to Jan 2021. And with this tool, the reason why the portfolio is only going back to early 2021 is because of the constraint is Airbnb. So that has to do with their IPO date. If I strip them out, history would go back further, as you saw on the Google portfolio. I was able to get 5 years worth of history there. This is sort of the annual return distribution in chart form. The TEK2day portfolio versus the NASDAQ 100. Trailing returns. This is the first time I'm looking at this data. Total return 3-month, 1.5% year to date, 21, 1 year, 26.5. I've seen that before. So for the year, sort of flattish year to date, not flattish, but in line with the benchmark year to date for the 1 year, then trailing the benchmark for 3 months. And then the annualized return data, that's where we differentiate versus the benchmark. 19 and change versus 13 for the 3 year, 26% versus 15. And then his sort of the company contribution. to the portfolio returns. And again, it's just equal weight of the portfolio. And there is the sector. Mostly tech, as you would expect, given that they are NASDAQ components. Annualized active return, I haven't looked at that before. Cumulative active return, sort of a time series for each company. I haven't seen this type of data before, Frank. That's kind of interesting. We'll look at that after the fact. 1 year and 3 year returns for each company. Up versus down market performance. Kind of interesting. Risk and return metrics, standard deviation, arithmetic mean, geometric mean, alpha, beta, R squared, Sharpe ratios, Modigliani, more annual return data, monthly return data, drawdown information. So anyway, kind of interesting. I just built this back test on the fly. I don't have an account with these guys. I will try to set one up here after I record the podcast. CAGR, so this is sort of by company. CAGR, standard deviation, best year, worst year. Drawdown information, Sharpe ratio. Kind of a neat tool. So I just thought you guys might be interested in looking at this information for both the portfolio and for this tool. I don't know these folks. I believe it is I don't recall. I think these guys are based in the Netherlands, but don't quote me on that. If I figure it out before I post the podcast, I will include a link. Well, I'll include a link to the tool in the show notes anyway. That's all for now. See you next time.